Both are on B. Well, never mind.
One upper.
He's low, he's low.
Oh no. Well, I got bomb upper, but I got 2 HP.
Good job.
You are so good.
Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, Time is But a Window. Now today we're going to be talking about Smurfs. First of all, what is a Smurf? Well, a Smurf is someone who is playing at an artificially low rank. Now this could mean it's a global elite playing at the silver elite level, or this could just be an MG2 playing at the gold Nova level. Now a lot of lower level players like to say smurfing is as bad as cheating. And if you're one of those players, you are on freaking drugs. First of all, they are nothing alike, and second of all, a cheater uses a program they can always configure to make it unstoppable, whereas a Smurf can only be as good as his actual skills. And while they might have much better reaction time and aiming mechanics than you, there is one thing they don't have, and that's a wall hack. They are not omniscient, and they don't know where you are at all times. Now in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the perspective of a Smurf and explaining how to best beat them. Now for this video, we're going to assume that you're playing against a single Smurf, though in a case of multiple Smurfs, these can also be applied. Now when someone is smurfing, or at least playing against people who they believe are a lower skill level than them, there is one thing they are destined to do, and that is be overly aggressive. Because let's be honest, in a game like Counter-Strike, if you have better mechanics than your enemy, you will usually win the gunfight. That is, unless you employ a series of techniques to equalize the playing field. Alright, so let's talk about those possible techniques. First of all, play off-angle positioning. If you're playing standard angles, you're more likely to get shot straight in the face, or if you're out in the open, you're probably not going to get away or get a second chance to kill them if you don't hit the immediate headshot. But if you play extremely tight angles, they have to fully clear it, and if you're far enough in the corner, they might not clear all the way. Now this is because as a Smurf, you're typically just going to go in there and try to just shoot them all in the face, go as fast as you can about it, and just rack up as many kills as possible. Because of this, the Smurf's going to be a little bit lazy and a little bit sloppy. That is, unless you're playing what I call a tactical Smurf. Now these are typically Smurf players that don't have very good aim mechanics, because if they did, they wouldn't have to worry so much about tactic, especially not in a Smurf game. Now it's rare to play against players like this, but when you do notice that you're playing against a player like this, try to push him when he's using his utility. He won't expect it at all. With some cheeky aggression yourself, you'll find you're catching him out more often than not, especially because he's got to use so much utility to guarantee his kills. But like I said, those kind of Smurfs are pretty rare, and you won't come across them often. Typically, you'll be playing against ones who just have better aim than you and are going to be rushing for kills. And since this isn't their main account, they're not going to care about this game anywhere near as much as you do. Which brings us to the most important lesson. Never shit talk a Smurf. Do not, and I repeat, do not make this personal for them. It's going to be hard enough to beat a Smurf when he's not really trying. If you get him to actually put his try pants on, then you might have a problem. And if you can't help yourself and are going to throw out some insult at him, make sure that there's one thing you don't insult, and that's his skill. Because if you do something like that, he's going to pull all the stops to guarantee his victory. Okay, so the next tip comes in the form of 1v1ing against a Smurf. Purposely try to play unpredictably. Everyone knows the standard rotations and how people are going to go about retaking a site. In these kind of situations, think about the most unpredictable thing you can do and try to do that. Remember, in a straight up 1v1 situation against a Smurf, you are most likely going to lose anyways. So your best bet is to do something pretty extreme to see if you can catch him off guard or get up behind him. But keep in mind, your positioning is what's going to catch him off guard, so you want to be as silent as possible. One footstep and he's going to know exactly what you're doing. Now I know that's pretty broad, so let me give you a little bit more specific idea. Let's say that you have the bomb down. It's a 1v1 situation and there's about 25 seconds remaining. Instead of just sitting there and watching the bomb until he comes to grab it, go to one of the bomb sites and kind of gamble. Hide behind a box, be as silent as you can, and if you hear those footsteps and hear him start to plant, you peek out and you take him down. Likewise, on the terrorist side, if you know where he's at, obviously go to the other bomb site, plant that bomb, and instead of peeking that bomb every time he tries to defuse, you try to pre-fire over towards it and don't peek out. Make sure you're in a position where he has to push aggressively to get to you and it's not an easy push. And don't forget what I said about playing those really sharp off angle. And if this isn't giving you enough of an advantage against him, then there is always the option to completely reposition. Leave the bomb alone and approach it from another angle. Remember, the idea is to give yourself a chance to catch him by surprise, not necessarily win it every time. So let's say that you're on Mirage, you plant the bomb, you go down A ramp and come back over from mid and approach the bomb and try to take him down. Yes, there is definitely a chance he will just defuse that bomb when he doesn't see anyone around, or at least try to fake it and try to pull you out, and if you still don't peek out, then he might commit to the defuse. But by fully rotating around like that, you give yourself a chance to come in from behind if he wastes too much time trying to find you. Alright guys, next up, here's a situation I saw from a couple nights ago.
Good shot.
Good job, man.
Good job.
Now what went wrong here? Was I just the better player hitting amazing shots? No, that's not what happened. What happened here is because it was a 4v1 and I had a deagle, they got overconfident and all decided to push me one by one. What they should have done in this situation is, as you can see, they have the bomb down in lobby. So once the guy outside spotted me, the rest of them should have run over to that bomb and they should have stacked that location. But since they didn't, all of a sudden I found myself in a 1v1 situation and I had an AK. Okay, so what should the last guy have done? Well, he should have repositioned because look at how much time is left on the clock. Now his best bet would have been to abandon the bomb and walk over towards heaven and wait for me to try to plant upper. But gambling it and going towards lower wouldn't have been a bad idea either. The main thing is to stay mobile and make sure that I stay out of his line of sight, because if I don't know where he is, I have to check everything. And if I'm checking everything, I'm going to be wasting so much time, eventually I'm going to have to run to that bomb site and just plant without checking anything, which would give him the ample opportunity to pop out and shoot me in the back. Here's another good round to learn from.
He's nutty. He's insane. I'm not all that crazy. Okay.
Now, flashing and peeking out was a great play. Definitely try to use your flashbangs against Smurfs. Now, the reason behind this is not just because flashbangs are incredibly efficient against anyone, but because Smurfs are going to go out of their way to try to hit ridiculous shots. For example, first, my positioning would have been different if I was playing against someone who I thought was at the same skill level as myself. Also, had he thrown a flash like this to get aggressive positioning, I would have used that time to drop down. Taking this fight is an incredibly bad idea, and I know this, but I want to hit a nutty shot on this guy as he comes out. That's why I pull out the deagle and try to hit his head over the top of the box. Exploit these mistakes. You see him start shooting like this, you just peek out and spray him down. And don't forget, you don't really always have to beat a Smurf 1v1. You can use bait tactics. Now, you could just bait your teammate to try to guarantee that trade kill, or what you can do is talk to your teammate and you can become the bait. But remember, to be the proper bait, you gotta make sure that your teammate can get the trade kill, which means you want to make sure that the enemy peeks out farther than he should to get the kill on you. One warehouse.
One heaven.
And remember, the only thing that separates you from the Smurf is mechanics and experience. And with enough time, you can get both of those down.
I think last one was, what is it? Heaven? Oh. Oh!
He's having.
GG, boys.
Good game. And with that, I hope you found this video informative. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, have a great day.